Hello everyone, this is Dana Talvik, and welcome back to the weekly. It's gonna be weekly until I run out of mocks, and then I don't know, uh, Bionicle mock reviews. Today we're looking at Krekka, who was created thanks to this series. If it weren't for the series, I wouldn't have made Krekka because I would have been afraid to take apart the mocks that I needed for parts. Mainly, Matoro was one I needed for parts, so once again, history repeating itself. I had to sacrifice Matoro. Just like, in actual Bionicle lore. Gosh, I feel bad for Matoro. Especially in the Kingdom universe, I feel bad for Matoro. Poor guy. He just hesitated once, and then everyone's like, you're bad. But anyway, Bionicle alternate universes aside, this is my Krekka MOC. His forearms and his legs are the main parts, using a ton of stuff from the MOCs that we covered already on the series. But he's inspired by the Miramax design, which is why he's got the tiny little legs, which, let me pan the camera down. Tiny little legs, really big, wide body, with like tubing and tons of gears. That's based on the Miramax design, and also the head I chose is more Miramax. That's also because I don't own the original set, and I don't own, what was its name? I don't own the white Vaki either, so I don't have a white Vaki head, so I had to use this mask. But I wanted to use this mask for this, actually, because first I had started building this MOC by building the forearms, and I was like, how am I going to do the head? And then I was like, oh yeah, this galley mask, perfect. Used it. It's great. So let's go a little more in detail of each section of the MOC, because I'm proud of some of the things I did. This is probably my second most complicated MOC I've ever made. The most being my Great Spirit Robot, which there is a video for that if you want to check it out, but I mean, it's older and I didn't look over it well enough, so I'm not going to link it. You're just going to have to find it on my channel because I don't feel like finding it. Anyway, so let's go in depth, starting with, let's just start where the build actually started by looking at the arms. So I will just set it aside while we take a closer look at the arms. So the arms started with this foot piece. I was like, this foot piece is perfect for making a Krekka MOC. I don't know why, but I just saw the foot piece. I'm like, that's gonna be perfect for Krekka. And then I was basically just seeing how much stuff I could attach to that foot piece just to make the really big forearm and then the kind of smaller upper arm. There's a whole bunch of attachments. This one here is technically, I think, an illegal technique because it puts stress on the part. But besides that, pretty proud of these arms. Did my best to try and fill in this gap. It's not perfect, but it's there. I tried. And it's not the most secure connection because it's just connected by a red peg into the shoulder pad, but it's decent. I'm not gonna, actually wait, I can because I used a friction extension piece, so I'm not worried about breakage. Next are the legs. Once again, this foot piece is very useful. It's one of my favorite parts to use in MOCs, just because it's got a nice shaping to it. You can use it for all sorts of things. You can use it for torsos, waists, feet. forearms, thighs. It's good for basically anything you can think of. There's a cool technique you can use this piece for. And it's so cool that it's used 3 times in this build as a foot, as a calf, and as part of the arm, as you saw earlier. This part here, inspired by the Miramax's designs, the front of the Miramax Designs foot is what this is inspired by, but I used it as a heel spur. Just because with how big the body is, you need a pretty long foot. The leg part, there isn't actually that much going on. It looks like a lot, but that's just because I put a lot of parts to cover it. It's just a tube basically going down to a ball joint. And then the upper part is just an Av Matoran limb piece / a gory limb piece with just these parts slapped in to fill holes and make it look a little bulkier. And then a friction extender because he's a big boy and he needs friction to stand up properly. Okay. And now, let's talk about the head. Head. There isn't much going on with the head. It's pretty simple. Basically, the reason the head is the way it is one, because I didn't have a way to have a socket connection for the neck with the way the torso is built, so it had to have a ball joint going into the headpiece, so I couldn't use the traditional headpiece. And then also, I didn't have any red brain stems for any of the front mouth connecting Kanohi style connections. I didn't have a Mono one. I didn't have the one that actually came with the set one, or a Metru one. So I didn't have a way of having a front-facing mask with red eyes, and Krekka kind of needs the red eyes. So I had to use a Glatorian headpiece with just a red peg put on the top of the head. Then I used these fins to simulate tubing because I ran out of tubing parts. And then these bits here to represent like the scopes that he has in the set version. So that's Krekka's head. Pretty simple. Simple little design. Then we get to the torso, which is significantly more complicated. There's a lot of stuff going on in there. It's kind of hard to explain. But basically, I built the torso starting with the shoulders and then attached everything to the shoulder pieces. But he's got a little heart light, got some pistons. Pretty robust torso. Got a bunch of mechanical detail all over the place. This piece to cover up all the Technic beams and make it look more organic. Now for play features, because everybody loves play features. At least I do. I think it's important to have play features on your MOC and to make your MOC as just like a set plus. That's what I like to think of my MOCs. I like to think of them as it could be an actual Bionicle set, but like if every set was like a Titan or something. That's the way I like to look at making MOCs, is like, oh, I want to make something that feasibly could be a Lego set minus a couple techniques here and there. So I want to keep play value in as part of it. So for play value, there's articulated fingers, which not a lot, but quite a few Titan sets had. Behind his head, he does have the Glatorian health bar thing, so you could always like flip that piece around and actually show the health. You could be like, use the Glatorian health bar gimmick. which, shout out if you actually used that gimmick when you were playing with your toys. I did. It was dumb, but it was fun. And then, of course, can't be a Metru style set without some sort of launcher. Now, the reason I didn't use a disc launcher and used a what are they called? Zammer sphere / the spiky fruit or whatever launcher. The reason I used that instead of a disc launcher was my Krekka was twofold. One, Krekka in the movie, the way his launcher looks, like accumulates and then it fires, so that made more sense using these ribbed pieces. And then two, my Nidiki MOC used one of these. So to make him fit better with Nidiki on my shelf, I used the same launcher type. But it fires. I'm not going to fire it because everybody knows how a launcher works, I would hope. And also because I don't want to lose it. I don't want to lose the ball. But that has been my Krekka MOC. I do, at some point, want to make a Turaga Duma to go along with these guys. But that's probably not going to be for a while because I don't have any mask that's anywhere close to the set or movie version of Turaga Duma's head. And also, I basically would have to order all of the parts I used to make Turaga Lecon and then just change some of them to be like black instead of yellow. So that's probably not going to happen for a while, but if I could, I would get a Turaga Duma to go along with these guys. And of course, since I mentioned Nidiki, I suppose I should show them next to each other. So let me go grab them. Okay, we got Nidiki now, so there they are. The two movie Dark Hunters together at last. See you in the next video.